Good morning, everyone. So I'm going to speak on planning for access creation, nurses' perspective into challenges. The questions timing for starting discussion around access creation, challenges explaining replacement therapy, answering myths and misconception around access, before and after access creation. So there are 5 stages of chronic kidney disease. The most concerned stages for planning are stage 4 and stage 5. So planning starts in stage 4 and the access is created in stage 5. So when the patient need to start dialysis or have kidney transplant. So KDQ Clinical Practice Guidelines 2019 update suggests that the patient with eGFR less than 30 ml per minute, CKD stage 4 with declining kidney function to be educated on all modalities of KRT, kidney replacement therapy, hemodialysis, peritoneal dialysis, kidney transplant, so that timely referral can be made for appropriate modality creation of functional access. When the patient GFR reaches to 15 ml per minute, the assessment and subsequent creation of dialysis access is done. So timely referral for appropriate modality, education and choice is necessary to allow adequate time for preparation, creation and use of functional dialysis access when it is needed at dialysis initiation. So timely referral helps us to achieve the right access in the right patient at the right time for the right reason. Role of nurse in planning for dialysis, it is very important. She educates the patient as well as family about different KRT modalities and accesses, and she explains the advantages and disadvantages of each modality without being biased. Another important role of a nurse in planning for dialysis is to prepare the patient physically as well as mentally before dialysis initiation. So this may require assessment and or some counseling sessions for the patients before access creation. So another important role for of a nurse in planning for dialysis is to help the patient to choose a therapy that will best meet the patient's lifestyle and needs. So it should be as per patient's interest and requirement. Another role of a nurse is to educate them to preserve veins in non-dominant arm for creating permanent access in future. So we tell the patient to avoid needle pricks or any IV cannulation. So there are 3 kidney replacement therapies: hemodialysis, peritoneal dialysis, and kidney transplant. The hemodialysis, it is known to everyone, and the peritoneal dialysis is very few knows about peritoneal dialysis. So I would like to highlight some advantages of peritoneal dialysis over hemodialysis. For PD, there is no need to visit healthcare facility because it is done at home. So technically, it is not challenging and it is very simple procedure. Another advantage is BP doesn't fluctuate much like in hemodialysis. And there is no risk of catching or contracting infections like hepatitis B, hepatitis C, and HIV infection. So it can be done technically in any part of the world. So there are different access for hemodialysis. The most preferred access is arteriovenous fistula, then arteriovenous graft, tunnel cuff catheter, and the least preferred access is non-tunnel catheter, that is temporary catheter. So there are 2 misplaced advantages which are perceived by nephrologists in a light in non-TCC versus TCC. So one is it is economically viable and it is technically simple. However, I would like to state if the person assists only a few tunnel catheter, she should be able to insert at least 1 tunnel catheter. Factoring high infection with a non-tunnel catheter, 1 episode of infection would cover up for all saving made in non-tunnel catheter. So for this reason, I would suggest that the patient should be advised to have a tunnel catheter instead of non-tunnel catheter. So there is another access for peritoneal dialysis is PD catheter, which is placed. The perforated end is placed inside the abdominal cavity, and the dialysis is performed by this with this process with fluid exchange. Let's move to challenges and problems. The patients have different behavior towards dialysis and dialysis access. The patient with behavior avoidance and denial, the patients with this behavior, they are reluctant to talk about dialysis. They don't want to talk about dialysis, their disease conditions, and they don't want to discuss anything about dialysis or access. They refuse to engage in conversation about dialysis access also, and they deny the severity of their condition and need for renal replacement. So they totally they don't accept their disease condition actually. Another behavior which is wait and watch. The patient with this instance, they recognize the severity of kidney function decline, but they are not convinced of urgent need to act on access creation. They accept the prospect of dialysis, but they don't take any action for dialysis or dialysis initiation. Another problem which is faced is communication gap between patient and healthcare provider. So if there is communication gap, the patient won't be able to understand his disease condition or need for dialysis access. So it is very important to identify communication barriers like language literacy, medical terminology should not be used actually, and to identify the emotions of the patients. So there are strong views for and against each modality. So there is a conflict of interest. The people who have strong opinion about hemodialysis, they will recommend hemodialysis, and the persons who have strong opinion about peritoneal dialysis, they would recommend peritoneal dialysis only. So it should not be biased actually. So there are some misconceptions about dialysis, like the patients have myth, the only option for receiving dialysis treatment is to travel to the center at least 3 times per week for hours at time. But the fact is not that. The dialysis can be done in many ways, and the peritoneal dialysis is another option which can be done at home also. Another myth which is related to dialysis is the patient think that dialysis is painful. Dialysis treatment, the fact is dialysis treatment should not be painful. If the patient experience any pain during or after treatment, it should be discussed with a doctor. Some patients may have some discomfort when needles are inserted into fistula. For that, some local anesthetic can be applied before inserting needles. Another myth is the dialysis is death sentence. The patient think that it is death sentence for them, but the fact is that dialysis provides new leash of life. It removes waste from the body, and it performs the function of kidney. Another myth is dialysis expensive. Yes, it is expensive, but private health insurance or state medical health also helps with the cost. So there is another scheme for poor patient, that is Ayushman Bharat in India. The myth is patient can't travel. So the fact is that the patient can travel with the planning and prior arrangements. So there are myths and misconceptions around access before and after creation also. The myth which is related to access creation is that the patient think that non-tunnel catheter can bridge me to AVF than tunnel cuff catheter. But the fact is that tunnel cuff catheter is better option than non-tunnel catheter. And complications like infections are more common with non-tunnel catheter than tunnel catheter. Another myth is I cannot do routine work or play after AVF creation. But the fact is that the patient can do routine work with minimal precaution. Another myth the patient have that I will directly get transplant done. But the fact is that if you have live related donor, yes, you can get transplant directly. But if you have to wait for disease donor transplant, I strongly recommend to get an AVF in advance. Another myth which is related to access is I can use my AVF for dialysis immediately after creation, but this is not true. You can. It takes at least 4 to 6 weeks to become functional, so you cannot use it immediately after surgery. The myth is for the patient have that the fistula causes heart failure. The fact is that the fistula with more than 50% of cardiac output or in patient with heart failure may have adverse effect, and this could be avoided by reducing flow with minimal invasive procedure. So another myth is the patient have that no need to create AVF, as I believe that my creatinine will improve. The patient has this belief that his creatinine will improve after some time, but the fact is that you can actually delay dialysis initiation by doing AVF. And there is one study which has been quoted. Another myth is infections are more common with PD and HD. And the fact is that peritonitis can be easily prevented by taking aseptic precautions and practicing good hand hygiene during fluid exchange. So, I'll end this topic with this. Thank you very much.